Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel for a brand new speed build, but this just isn't any speed build. As you guys will have seen from the title, this is a collab with none other than Aurora. Now, if you guys don't know who Aurora is, have you been living under a rock? Because she is the queen of Sims 3. She is an amazing storyteller. She's got some phenomenal Let's Plays going on her channel. And she's recently started a series where she has been renovating Sunset Valley. And I just fell in love with that series because, let me tell you guys, the girl has got some decorating skills. And I'm just in awe every single time she does any sort of decorating, whether it be in her LPs or in this brand new Sunset Valley series, and I'm just in absolute awe. So I reached out to her and I was like, I really want to collab with you. And I had a little bit of a fangirl moment. And if you guys have been around for a while, you know I don't fangirl very often. But I was fangirling when she said yes, that she would love to collab with me as long as she didn't have to build. So I was happy to build because, as I've told you guys, I've got a little bit of the building bug at the moment. So I was more than happy to do that. And I was honored that Aurora would be decorating one of my builds. So as you can see, here it is, and I've named it the Navy Peony. I know I'm really rubbish at naming my builds, so I really don't have an excuse for that other than this house ends up being navy blue, and then there's some peonies, and they're orange. So, and you're going to see a lot of orange throughout the build, which I really like. So the Navy Peony is unfurnished, of course, because Aurora is going to work her magic on it, and it is 3 to 4 bedrooms. And at the very end, when I got the screenshots, I've sort of labeled how I would lay out the rooms, but there's a flex space on the downstairs on the ground floor, and you can make it an office or you can make it a 4th bedroom if you want. And you'll see in the front, when we turn around and spin back around to the front, there's a porch off the front there that's got sort of private access to get to that little decking area. So it can be a bedroom, it can be an office, it could be a nursery or like a play area. If your Sims are in the daycare career, that might be a good place to put all the kids that you're watching. You know, do what you want to do with that flex space. But in the screenshots, I've labeled it as I don't know what I labeled it as, actually, so you guys are going to have to check that out when we get to the very end. But as you can see, the basic shape of the house is done, and I'm just going through and putting on windows. Now, as I told you guys probably a few videos back, I kind of revealed a secret as to how I build and how, because you guys know I'm notoriously slow. Wow, I can't get my words out. I just finished worked. Oh my god, you guys, I cannot get my words out. I just finished work and I've been on the phone all day, so I'm fumbling and bumbling all over my words. Anyway, what I'm meaning to say is that I mapped this house out probably 3 or 4 times before I actually went to record it. So this is a lot faster than the process, but overall it probably took me 2 to 3 days from the first mapping out to when I actually went to record it. And I recorded it in one sitting one day, and usually I don't do that when I do builds, especially if I'm decorating the insides. It takes me yonks. You guys know how slow I am and how indecisive I am, but because I've done this several times off camera, it's a little bit quicker. I already had the color palette picked out, so that's what you guys see there in the front is that wall with the wall coverings that I'm going to be using. And we're just going all around the house, and then pretty soon I am going to change the roof color, I believe. But let me tell you guys, the roof color, for some reason, took me ages. I don't know what it was about it, but I could not decide what looked best or how to do it or anything. It was just like my mind was blown. But anyway, we've got a nice little wraparound porch, which isn't really that usable because it's only 2 tiles wide. I mean, I guess your Sims could go around and like stand on a different part of the porch, but there's not really anything to do. It's just for cosmetic reasons only. But I'm going through and I'm recoloring all the windows and the doors, and you're going to start to see the pops of orange come through. And I really like orange and navy blue together. It's probably not a color scheme that I would use in everyday life, but look at that garage door. Bam! It is orange. And I decided to make the little decorative pieces that come out from the roof line orange as well. And I just think it made it a little bit more interesting because the house is quite dark. just to look at, but when you've got those pops of orange, honey, it's beautiful. So also the fence is orange, and usually when I'm doing fences, they're white, but I thought, you know, let's be a little bit crazy here. Let's do something a little bit different, and let's go for the orange, same color orange that is on the garage door and some of the other features that you are going to see. Now, I have no idea why I'm struggling with these stairs, but I decided to go back to my original plan with just a 2-stair step down. Now, the yard you're gonna see isn't that big, but I fit quite a bit in there, and you guys are gonna get to see me landscaping, so you guys can let me know how I did on the landscaping, because you know that's not my favorite thing to do. I say it all the time, and usually most of my videos I do cut the landscaping out because I'm just horrific at it. So let me know how you guys think I did down below in the comments. You know, roast me if you want to. Actually, no, don't. I'm a little bit sensitive. Be nice. Let me constructive criticism only, please. But yes, so just doing the recoloring, and then I believe I'm gonna pop inside. Yes, I am. Here we are inside, and I'm just doing the layout. Now, I did say to Aurora when I sent her the file, if she wanted to change anything, she could totally change the layout to make it work better for her. But I just thought, because I'm gonna have a download for you guys, and you guys can decorate it to your guys' taste, I'd put a layout in for you. But again, if you want to change it up, go for it. That is your prerogative. Now, I found out at this point that I made the garage too small, so I had to do some jiggery pokery and pull it out a little bit, and it was I didn't want it to be able to be seen from the front of the house. I wanted the garage to kind of be tucked away, because this is built on a corner lot. So originally this was built where the Americana sits in Sunset Valley. I think it's 442 Skyborough Boulevard off the top of my head. And so this lot will be best placed on a corner lot. It's a 30 by 30 lot. You can see the monotone in the background. Ooh, base game love. But yeah, so I had messed with it loads and loads of times, but yeah, I couldn't get the parking space to fit in there. But really, in reality, in The Sims, garages are so useless. It just adds a little bit of realism, but your sim has to physically open the garage door, which I think is a little bit of ridiculousness. So you could always turn the garage into a flex space as well if you guys wanted to decorate this on your own. You know, do what you want, go crazy. Now, originally when I had mapped this out, this area that I'm working on right now, I had a bonus room and then also a bedroom. So at one point I had an office and I had a bedroom there, but it overflowed into the garage, and then again the car parking space wouldn't have worked. So again, do what you want if you guys decide to put this in your game. But for now, I've kept it as a flex space, and then you're going to see doors appear. And what I've done is created a little bit of a hallway, and you've got the flex space, which could also be a bedroom, like I've said. And then where I've just put that arch, I thought that could be a laundry room. Now, I hope Aurora doesn't kill me, because she said in several of her last videos that she really, really hates to do laundry in real life and The Sims, and she doesn't like to put laundry rooms in her house. But you know, I had a little bit of extra space, and as well, I recently watched her Mosquito Cove renovation, and she put in laundry, and it was just stunning. Like, it was probably my favorite room in that entire renovation, which is kind of ridiculous because it is laundry, but I loved it and it was beautiful. And so yeah, I put it in there. So I hope she doesn't get too angry at me for putting in laundry. But you guys, her decorating skills are just off, out of this world. They just like blow my mind. And she uses beautiful, beautiful CC. Like, I am jealous. I try to stay away from build and buy CC, because if I fall down that rabbit hole, I'm gonna be there for ages, and then my poor Feeny, who is my computer, will overheat and explode. And there's just so much beautiful CC in The Sims 3, and there are creators that are actually still creating Sims 3 CC. And yeah, I know I've got a few pieces in my game, but I just try to avoid it as best as I can. So this house is CC free. and it doesn't use any stuff packs. However, I did use, what did I use? I used 3 pieces of store content, but they can be easily replaced. So the fence that's off the flex space deck area is from Roaring Heights. And then when I get to the decorating, I use the jar of Electric Firefly lights on the outside. I don't want to call it a pergola. It's not a pergola. I don't know what that area is called. Somebody commented on it the other day when I used it in an old build, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it is called. It's got like the latticing up top, and then you put shrubs over it. Yeah, I think you guys know what I mean. But anyway, I've got lights hanging from there. Those are from the store. And then also I use the chairs on the front deck. It's called Chair Al Fresco, and you can get that in the Sims 3 store, or you can just replace them because, like I said, easily replaced. And also back to the packs that I used, I only installed all the packs except for Into the Future. So there's no Into the Future in this. And to be honest, beyond that, I don't know what packs I used. I just know there's absolutely no stuff packs in here, so you don't need to worry about that. But I just kind of grab, pick, and drop whenever I'm building. I don't really pay attention to what packs I use. And that's why I'm really excited about the sort of limited pack series that I'm doing. The one that I started with the base game build only. And our next one is going to be a base game plus pets, which I've mapped that out a couple times. But I need to get on it like a car bonnet and get to building that, because like I said, I've got that bug and I don't want that bug to go away, because sometimes when I'm building, I can get the bug and then I just get frustrated with the build and then I turn away from it for ages. And I don't want that to happen because I've got so many good ideas in my head. And I really also want to get back to renovating Riverview, because again, there's so many good ideas that I have with that series, and I've checked out a lot of houses that you guys have been suggesting in the comments of the last 2 Renovate Riverview series. So that's been fun, because those houses, they need some plum love, and I'm ready to show those houses all the love in the world, because they definitely need it. So I'm super excited about that. I think I've got my next one picked out, which is really exciting for me and hopefully exciting for you guys as well. I don't know if you want to take a guess down in the comments what it might be, but I mapped out a particular house and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. So I'm just working on the garage right here, recoloring it, and it's a funky old thing when you use constrained floor elevation. You guys can kind of see like it's a warped color where I've put the door out into the backyard, and so I had to go with a solid concrete color just to make sure things weren't warped a little bit. But I'm basically done with the bottom floor and we're gonna go up to the top floor. I left everything white blank, a blank slate for Aurora to go and put her own personal stamp on it. So there's not a lot of personality on the inside, but shortly after this, we are going to move to the outside and I'm gonna start landscaping. Like I said, it's only a small little yard, so it's not anything too crazy. I did have an idea when I was first doing it that I was going to put a pool in there, but I was like, it'd be a really teeny tiny pool. So I put some other things in there and we're going to check it out shortly, which I'm super excited to do, because I think that the landscaping turned out pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. I'm always really hard on myself when it comes to landscaping, because again, not my forte, not something I'm strong with, but we're just gonna start plopping trees down. And then of course, what's gonna come next, guys? After the trees, what do you think is gonna come next? It's the buckhorns. Because that is my favorite bush.
Is it your special bush?
And it takes up a lot of room, which helps when you're trying to take up space. I was talking to one of my friends about this build and like when I landscape and why I'm so bad at it, and I think it's because seeing loads of green space gives me a little bit of anxiety. Like seeing wide open spaces, I do not like it. So I'm like, I have to touch all of the open space with terrain paint or something, or I've got to put bushes and flowers. So that's what I do, and there's my buckhorns. I just love them. I think they're so beautiful. I don't know if are buckhorns a real thing in real life. I don't know if I've ever seen a buckhorn, but I do love them in The Sims. And then I also put, I think that's a huckleberry bush or tree, and I think that came from Supernatural, and I thought that might give a little bit of height, a little bit of interest. But it's not bare in the front yard, but this is pretty much it in the front yard that leads up to the front door. Of course, I'm gonna put some dirt on the path, and I think I revisit that a couple times because I thought that dirt line was a little bit too strong. And then I'm gonna struggle here a little bit with these stone pavers, because for some reason, I don't know if you guys have any issues with this when you're landscaping, but I can never get the pavers to be like perfectly circular, even though you can see that I'm using the circle brush. It just doesn't go completely circular for me. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, or if I'm doing anything wrong, or if that's just how it works. But I think that path looks all right, and it goes out to the garage area. So there's a way in and out of that little decking, but for the most part, that deck area is pretty secluded, which I really, really like. And I think it turned out pretty darn cute. So just recoloring the railings right now, putting railings on. I'm really glad I didn't forget that, because I was watching this footage back before I recorded and I couldn't see that I put railings on both sides of the front deck. So I was like, oh no, this could be a disaster, but I sorted it. And going to do the one in the garage, and then trellis. That's the word I'm looking for. This is a trellis. Not lattice, it is a trellis. So I've just put the flowers up on top of the trellis, and again with the buckhorns. And I think it's nice to do like little corners of the garden, if that makes any sense. I like to put things in opposite corners. I don't know if, you know, if you're a landscape architect, that is something that you would do, but it really works for me. And then I'm going over the terrain paint with some grass terrain paint, again, to give it a little bit of depth, and it makes it look a little bit more realistic when you do that, I think, at least. So yeah, that's my reasoning behind that. And again, going through with the dirt path. I don't know if that's a little bit strong, if I was a little bit heavy-handed. I like to watch videos when I'm trying to learn to do something better. So a while back, I did watch a series of videos on how to be a better landscaper, and the dirt paths was one of them. So over onto this little private deck that I've just placed a chair and tables down on. A table and chairs down on. That chair is from the Sims 3 store. It's called Chair Al Fresco, I believe, and you can buy it on its own in the store, so it's not a part of a venue or anything. So that's quite good. I tried to really limit my store content, but you know, if I can't use CC, I want to use store content. So I think I did pretty darn good to not overflow the outside with stuff from the Sims 3 store. So I'm pretty proud of myself for that. I might give myself a little pat on the back. And yeah, it's very basic out here. Again, I didn't want to cramp Aurora's style when she went in to decorate. If she wanted to add anything to the outside, I didn't want to go overboard on it, but I also didn't want to leave it blank, because you know, the outside was my bit. So I put this little hopscotch court there, and I always like to try and match the hopscotch court to whatever I'm putting it on, so it looks like the chalk outline is just there and it's not like it's a carpet, because I think the default texture looks more like a carpet. So as you can see, I have pegged this to be kind of a family home. I just put a swing set down. Obviously we've got the hopscotch cart in the front yard, or the side yard next to the garage, and then also a little barbecue. And I moved this table and chairs several times. I don't know what I was thinking, but it does eventually end up there. And here's the other piece of store content that I've used, which is the jar of fireflies. I don't know what else it's called. Oh, I'm choking. Why do I always choke? I've got this issue when I speak, and I always seem to choke, and it's not a good look for me. So I'm really sorry about that. If you heard that very unattractive noise, I do apologize. But I am going to end up moving the table and chairs back to the center, because it doesn't really make sense to be back where it is right now. I have no idea what I was thinking. I don't know what I would have put in the table's place. But yeah, and then I also go and I change that yellow. If you guys have been around on my channel for a while, you guys know that I love the color yellow and also olive green. So I try to incorporate yellow as much as I can, but I just thought that was a little bit bold. I think that the color palette with this is a little bit more muted on the outside. I think the orange is the boldest color, so I toned it down a little bit and made it green. I took one of the colors from the lounge chairs that I've just placed down on the garden, and yeah. So basically, we are coming to the end of the video. This is the Navy Peony. I hope you guys watched me. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me build this, and please go and check out Aurora's version of her decorating it, because I'm gonna tell you now, it's gonna be absolutely spectacular. The link to her channel and also her video will be down below in the description. Go check her out. There will also be a link to download the Navy Peony if you would like to decorate it yourself in your game. If you do, I would love to see what you guys do with it. You guys can send me a tweet or send me a DM, or my Instagram is down there. So just let me know what you guys do, because I think it would be really fun to see. And if you've got Sims living there, I would love to see your Sims, hear about the family and everything that is going on. Anyway, I have rambled my way through this. I've only choked once, so I think this has been a pretty successful voiceover. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to do all those cool interweb things, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you've got that bell ding dong so you be notified whenever I do upload. But for now, I'm gonna skedaddle. Don't be a plum stranger now, guys.